Jimmy,
I'm here.
do you like movies?
Yeah, I've seen some movies.
Do you like family?
Do I like family? Do I like my family, or do I like families in general?
Do you like family?
I like my family fine. Families in general, they kind of bug me.
You didn't ask about when I said movies.
Uh-huh.
You just said, yeah, I like movies.
I mean, I like movies. You know I like movies. I've talked about movies that I like all the time. You know, this show is actually about a movie that I like. Why would you even ask if I like movies?
That's a good point. You ever watch a movie with your family?
I have. Most of the first movies that I watched were indeed with my family. Do you remember the first movie you ever saw in theater?
Yeah.
What was it?
Well, it was with a family member, for one.
Which family member?
My father. My father took me to see Hook.
Oh boy, that's Steven Spielberg. The first film you ever saw in theaters was Hook by Steven Spielberg?
It was.
Wow. The first movie I ever saw was Little Mermaid, actually.
By Steven Spielberg?
Not by Steven Spielberg. It was the animated cartoon.
Oh, the Disney one.
Yeah, starring the singers and whatnot.
That one did better.
Yeah, that one did well.
Yeah.
Have you seen, I don't know, how many movies have you been introduced to by your family members? What was your movie-going experience like when you were a kid?
I mean, I remember going a lot as a young teenager, like 11, 12, 13 years old. I feel like, particularly with my dad, I was going to the movies a lot.
Okay.
And our mom would take us to movies. Oftentimes that would be both myself and my sister. And my mom would take the both of us. But my sister being younger, once I got to a certain age, then I would go to a lot of movies with my dad that my sister was too young to see. I don't remember going to a lot of movies with my entire family. The few I can think of with all four of us, the X-Files movie, Alien versus Predator.
Oh, wow.
The first one.
Yeah, the good one.
I Am Legend, Mickey Blue Eyes.
Wow.
Those are the ones I can remember. What about you?
Good Lord. I have a ton of great memories with my family going to the theater when I was...
Well, your dad was a projectionist for a while, right?
He managed a single screen second run theater for a couple years there. I got a couple good experiences from that, one of which was seeing the last reel of Time Cop from the projection booth. My dad showed that to an empty theater. The other great story I have from that is my 9th birthday party. I got to see The Lion King with my friends in an empty theater. We did a party beforehand. Everyone got pizza and toys and cake and whatnot. And then we went over to the theater and my dad threw on The Lion King for me and all of my friends.
Wow.
It was a pretty great birthday party.
The Lion King, Witch in the Wardrobe.
Yep. No, that's not right. You're thinking of something else.
Oh, I wasn't there. I wasn't invited.
Yeah, that's true. I'm sorry. I should have invited you.
Thank you. I've been waiting for that apology.
The other experiences I have with my family going to see movies are at a drive-in theater, actually. There was a drive-in theater probably 2 miles from my house. And
that's pretty anachronistic for someone our age.
Yeah.
I've seen maybe one double feature in the drive-in, but I feel like that was sort of a bygone era for most people our age.
I've got to imagine that if you had to drive a good distance to it, it probably wasn't like the ideal situation. Sometimes the screen wasn't bright enough because the sun was still out a little bit. And so, but yeah, you usually get a double feature. And one of the best double features I ever got, The Lion King and Jurassic Park. Saw those two back to back.
Wow, a Steven Spielberg double feature.
Yeah. Actually, I may not be remembering that right, but who can say? It lives on in my memory somewhere back there.
Somewhere. Back to the show with a vengeance. This is Joey Z. I'm now going by Joey Chairs. I'm not really sure how I picked up that moniker, but Joey Chairs is what they call me in here. Spoiler alert.
And they call me Jimmy Prison.
Yeah, we've been arrested, y'all.
If you didn't know.
Well, the last time we checked in with y'all, I know that the end was a little disruptive. I deeply apologize for that. It was terribly embarrassing. I never want to disrupt a broadcast like that. But as you know, in this space, in the pirate radio space, we like to play in this space. We've been playing in this space. Sometimes things go sideways, and they have for us. We are now locked up in the big house, and we're political prisoners.
Yeah, it was a kangaroo court. That's all I'm going to say. It was a kangaroo court. There was no justice here.
We were tried in absentia. What happened between the last time you heard from us and now? We were taking bags over heads, taken on a very long, very uncomfortable ride, kicked, beaten. I'm not going to, this is a PG show. I don't want to get too deep into it. A lot of
profanity was sent in my direction.
And hats off to Mr. Producer, who also is in here with us. Again, we've been set up as priority one dissidents here.
Yeah, we violated an old Wisconsinian bylaw dating back to 1859.
Get a load of this.
Yeah, apparently this hasn't been repealed since then, but if you were found guilty of pirate radio in the state of Wisconsin, they go straight for the death penalty. And so that's what's hanging over our heads right now, and our lawyers are now talking with the Supreme Court, actually. We're going to try to get this appealed. I don't know. Pretty nerve-wracking, but you know what? We're going to stay in good spirits because we've made a lot of friends here. There are a lot of other political prisoners of Sheboygan, Jerry Novak's tyrannical rule. And you know what? He's not a really popular guy in here. And for that reason, me and Joey Z... Joey, what was your name again?
Well, I'm Joey Chairs in here now.
Joey Chairs and Jimmy Prison. We're doing great.
We're doing A-okay. And as a matter of fact, we're all fighting the same good fight here. And a big hats off both to Mr. Producer and a new connection in the clink here, our good friend Scantron. Who was, hats off to Scantron.
A huge help, showed us the ropes. You may also be wondering how we're broadcasting live from a prison.
That's all due to Scantron.
Yeah, there is just a wing of the prison that the guards don't go into, and there was just some abandoned radio equipment lying around. Scantron showed it to us. We got it fired up, and we told him, you know what? We've got a message we've got to send. There's a movie that needs to be talked about, and we're the only ones that are going to do it.
And he knew a little bit about us, which, I mean, I was flattered. Scantron, total mensch, honestly.
Yeah.
Hats off. He's mostly trading more in sort of school equipment, but he really kind of pulled out all the stops for this one and really figured out some electrical engineering for us.
I've only known this guy for a month, and I'd already say I consider him to be family.
Absolutely. I agree.
And that brings us to today's topic.
I love that segue.
Yeah, you know, I thought it up. I had a lot of time on my hands, and well, now I'm belaboring it, so it's kind of just wasted at this point. But
well, I think you queued it up perfectly well, and that's a little bit of inside baseball. You're going to see some BTS there, sort of the way that we think about the show before we go on the broadcast. You know, we do talk about it a little bit. Yeah. Spoiler, you know.
Yeah. We do pre-production.
Once you know, you're in the fold, you know, and now you're part of the family.
Yeah.
When we think about Home Alone, what do you think about? Do you think about family? I do.
I wish my family would disappear sometimes.
Wow. Really?
No, I was just quoting Kevin there.
I see. Well, let's say expound on that.
That's where the film starts. So we've got a house full of 15 people, and Kevin's the only one who's got to make trouble. We've got the first, 10, 15 minutes, do you think, of the film is basically just setting up how much Kevin doesn't like his family and how much his family doesn't really like him, you know?
Yeah.
He's the youngest kid. His sister says he's completely helpless. He's fretting about packing a suitcase, and his sister says, what was I supposed to do? Shake his hand and say, congratulations, you're an idiot?
You're what the French call les incompetents.
I wouldn't let you sleep in my room if you were growing on my ass.
He's really taken the piss from all of his older siblings.
Oh, yeah. And this is even before he screws things up in the kitchen with all of the pizza stuff. Well, he didn't really screw it up.
He was kind of framed there, which I sort of deeply relate to more than ever.
Yeah, I feel framed.
Yeah.
But in that pizza scene, even after he's like, created this mess, Uncle Frank starts it off. Look what you did, you little jerk. and then everyone just stares at him. The entire family. It's just like, look at this little monster. Like, why does he have to be here and ruin everything?
We can totally understand why Kevin is frustrated. We also see that he's sort of a precocious kid. He can be sort of annoying.
Maybe there's something to what his siblings are saying to him.
Right.
You're completely helpless. Everyone has to do everything here for you.
Yeah.
And he's fretting about packing a suitcase while everyone else is just packing their own stuff. His parents are trying to figure out where the voltage adapter is. So is his aunt. And he's just fretting about having to pack his suitcase because he's never done it before.
We also see the family. I think that this is, I always like to point back at the brilliant storytelling of John Hughes here, how he weaves a tale, how he sets up a narrative. And here again, I think that we are setting up these camps, right? We're building a conflict where we see it's sort of like Kevin versus the world, Kevin versus his entire family. And those stakes are important to recognize, but they're also really believable. They don't seem forced because we've never seen the McAllisters on a calm day when all the extended family isn't there, when everyone isn't trying to get ready to take off for an early morning international flight the next day. So I think to be introduced to the family amid this chaos really helps believably sell this conflict, which is probably just, it's exacerbated, right? It probably always exists, but today's a day where it's really on everyone's minds.
Yeah, I do get the sense that Kevin feels like this very often, that he's always the one getting dumped on.
Yeah.
And his mom says, you're always the only one who's acting up. You can just never, and I think this brings this theme, like what sells Home Alone so well, I think, to most families is that everyone can kind of relate to that. You can feel like you've been in a position where it's like, oh man, my sibling just irritated me so much, or why are my parents making me do this? Like I just can't wait to be free of them.
Kevin, get upstairs right now.
Why?
Kevin, you're such a disease.
Shut up.
Kevin, upstairs.
Say goodnight, Kevin.
Good night, Kevin. Now it's for dinner. Why do I always get treated like scum?
All right, so Kate and Kevin both have their conversation at the bottom of the stairs at the attic, and Kate basically says, well, maybe you should ask Santa for a new family. And Kevin says, I don't want a new family. I don't want any family. Families suck. and Kate's a little hurt by it, I hope you didn't mean that. Oh no, after that he says, just stay up there. I don't want to see you again for the rest of the night. She says, I don't want to see you again for the rest of my whole life. And I don't want to see anyone else either.
Yeah.
So
I want to point out, too, here is another good example of this being a family film, because I think that is probably relatable to parents.
Yes.
Right? Where they're like, I love my kid. I know my kid loves me, but man, sometimes my kid is a real shithead.
Sometimes you just got to send your kid up to the attic by himself or
in
herself.
Your mansion.
In your mansion. Banish them up there to the attic and just put them away for the rest of the night.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so Kevin goes up to the attic, and you hear as the storm begins, we're fading into the wintry storm that's going to knock the power out. You hear Kevin say, I wish they would all just disappear. And the next morning they do.
Right. So for an 8-year-old, immediately.
Yeah. What do you think happened there? Okay. He wished for his family to disappear. He goes downstairs, and all of the other 14 people in this house are gone. The cars are still here, so they obviously didn't go to the airport. Kevin made a wish to what? What granted this wish? Do you think he actually believes it? I mean, he does say, I made my family disappear.
Yeah. I think that he is sort of the quintessential kid. I don't know if it's to God.
Yeah, maybe.
Or if it's just to
Santa Claus.
The fates. Or, is it a Christmas wish?
Yeah.
He does fall back on Santa as his savior.
He does, yeah.
Who knows? I mean, kids wish all the time.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I loved fantasizing about making wishes.
Yeah.
Just what could I don't have any tools or skills to actually affect change in my life. I live in this box of rules. I can't do anything on my own.
Yeah.
The only thing I can fantasize about is wishing. Magic. Right? If I had magic, the things that I would do.
Yeah.
So I don't think when Kevin goes to bed and he wishes his family away.
It's not to a genie in the bottle.
Yeah, I don't think he has any expectation that it's going to happen. He's just doing it out of that childhood frustration.
Yeah.
I don't have any ability to affect this except to wish. And then when he wakes up, his wish has come true.
Yeah. And so immediately, he doesn't actually bring the wish up again throughout the rest of the movie. You don't hear him wishing to have his family back to whatever granted this wish.
You're right.
So I feel like we're somewhere in this gray area where like maybe they have just gone away. You also hear in some of those early scenes him talking to his family who he thinks is watching.
Right.
That they're just playing a prank on him or something like that.
Yeah.
So it does feel like he's sort of just grasping at whatever theories he possibly can that made this happen. But eventually he accepts that his family is gone.
Right.
And they're not coming back. And I think the first thing he does once he realizes it, he runs around the house. What is it? He makes popcorn for breakfast, goes up to his parents' bedroom and starts jumping up and down on the bed. And then he starts running around the house and going, I'm free.
Yeah. Breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah.
As Kevin is wont to do.
Yeah. And so he revels in that for that whole first day, basically. I feel like Kevin is just reveling in the fact that he made his family go away. The first instance I think we really see of him wanting his family back is when he gets scared by angels with filthy souls.
Right.
And this is where he pauses the movie after Snakes has been blown away, and then he screams, Mom!
Yeah.
And this is another point where I wonder, like, if there maybe is an actual magical element at play here in Home Alone, because they immediately cut to Kate on the plane. And I'm wondering if that is like, I don't know, like some sort of magical bond between mother and child that's sort of being implied at. Do you think that's a direct cut from Kevin screaming mom to his mom waking up on a plane and hearing it?
I do think it is.
You do? Okay.
I do think it is. Yeah. I don't think that they need to have a magical bond for Kate to have the eventual realization that she left Kevin home alone.
Yeah.
There's something gnawing at her, but I think it's good storytelling. I don't read it as super literal, but I think it works. It doesn't make me question it.
Yeah.
So then we have Kevin, who's sort of in this flux.
Yeah.
Right? Because pretty soon thereafter, it's hard to know how Kevin would have felt had bandits not started coming around his house. And he's like, now I have to go into home defense mode. And if Old Man Marley didn't scare the crap out of him.
Yeah.
If he was just home alone, would it have taken him any longer to want his family back?
I do think that first day, the few instances where you see of him wishing that he had his family back, it comes from fear. It comes from like, I'm used to depending on an adult to take care of me in these situations, and they're not here and I'm by myself. Like two like creepy shadows just walked by the window and I'm here by myself. Who's going to defend me? Fortunately, just turning on the lights did it enough for the wet bandits, but eventually he's going to have to up his game.
Right. I think that Kevin, in his sort of childish way, doesn't think in the long term, right? He's the night that he's sent upstairs, he is acutely frustrated, right? And I think in his way, he actually gets the wish that he wants, which is, I don't want to not have a family forever.
Yeah.
Maybe he's not appreciating in the moment that it's not going to take long for him to miss his family. But I do think that he really needs an opportunity to be independent and spread his wings and spend a few days without his family and really learn a little bit about himself. And I think in that way, Kevin kind of gets exactly what he wanted, even if he didn't realize that's what he wanted.
Which is funny because if you go to that Paris scene where Megan is talking to Buzz, like the entire family is distraught because Kevin's been left behind. He's the only member of the family who is like, the little trout could use a few days in the real world. And it kind of turns out that maybe he was right. I mean, you know, like he actually did grow as a person over the course of that. And as an older brother, having probably gone through something similar, he maybe realized this was the case, that Kevin is just a little wimp. And if he's just on his own and realizes he can do these things on his own for a little bit, maybe he'll
man up a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I do want to point out too, this is a little strange. I don't think it's something we've ever talked about, but Kevin sleeps in his parents' room the entire movie.
Right.
He moves up there the first day. Like to the point where the first 100 times I watched this movie, I didn't even know if Kevin had a room in the house.
Exactly.
You only see it twice, I think. Once when Jeff is in there packing his suitcase at the beginning of the movie before he like does the bombs away thing at Joe Pesci. The other time, Kevin unfurls the battle plan on his desk. You can tell that that's his room because the wallpaper matches that first sequence. But those are the only two shots. There are two shots in the movie where Kevin has his own room. The first day he realizes this house is mine, he moves into his parents' bedroom. What do you think that's about?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that could either be luxury. Like, I'm going to move into the master bedroom since I'm the man of the house.
I'm done with these bunk beds.
I'm going to sleep in the king bed.
Yeah.
It's great for jumping on. It's super comfortable. It could also be a comfort thing. It could be sort of an early indication. He's like, oh, yeah, I wanted my family to disappear, but like, where's my mom and dad?
Yeah. He also, I think the first time you even see him interact with the bed, well, he jumps on it, but then he also runs upstairs and runs under his parents' bed.
Right.
And that's where he's like hiding with the thing or whatever. But,
yeah, his parents' room sort of becomes his home base. It's sort of his headquarters. It's the bunker in a way.
It feels similar to the end of the movie where he runs back home from the church and he says, this is my house, I have to defend it. I feel like him realizing that the house is his own. He's like, oh, well, I'm the master of the house, so obviously I need to move into the master of the bedroom. It's just like, that's just what's going to happen.
Right.
So I feel like this whole thing Kevin and his family are going through is a common thing in films in particular, family films. You sort of, and I don't know, that brings us into the whole idea of family films altogether. It's sort of this movie that's intended to both entertain a child, but also entertain adults at the same time.
Yeah, there's an important distinction to make between family films and kids movies, right?
Yes.
Kids movies, parents ideally want to put on for the kids to watch to keep them entertained. They would really rather not go to the cinema and sit through 90 minutes of a kids movie, right?
Yeah.
Family films are films that are family friendly, right?
Yeah.
They're typically not rated any harder than PG.
Yeah.
And they oftentimes have whole families in them. So there are characters that are relatable. A lot of times family films have jokes that are
Go over the
kids' heads, right?
Yeah.
That are obscured enough that they're not offensive to children, but the parents can have a chuckle.
I remember actually going to movies with my family and like having experiences like that where you'd be sitting there watching a movie and all of a sudden both of your parents are laughing. You're like, they didn't tell a joke. What are they laughing about? You know, I just didn't get it.
Yeah.
And then they also, family films, I think, also tie into themes of family, themes that both parents and children can relate to. And it's something that they can like sort of talk about. One other movie that really makes me think of Home Alone in terms of this, Kevin wishing his family would go away, Kevin kind of wishing he was free of the constraints of childhood. A movie that matches up with that is one that you and I both love, and that movie is called Blank Check.
Love that movie.
I love Blank Check. And it actually says on the VHS box cover, if you liked Home Alone, you're going to love Blank Check. And,
well, they were right.
And you got 2 thumbs up from the Long Road Home Alone here on that assessment. Blank Check is great, starring Brian Bonsall, who plays Worf's son.
Alexander
Rozhenko from Star Trek The Next Generation.
He is one actor who plays Alexander Rozhenko.
This is true. There were a few different, but he was the main one throughout most of the run of TNG. I think the first season Alexander Rozhenko shows up. That's not Brian Bonsall, but everything after that is. But Blank Check is great, and you've got a similar situation where you've got this kid who just feels constrained by childhood. He has no agency, no independence whatsoever. He gets a check from his grandma for $10, and that's like the most freedom he could ever hope for. He goes to an amusement park at the beginning of the film and has like $3 and watches as all of his friends are just riding rides and playing games, and all he can do is basically play the kiddie games or the kiddie roller coaster.
Yeah.
It's this feeling of, you just wish that you could have more opportunity.
Right. A kid who's old enough to want to do things, to know things about the world that they want access to, but not have the resources to do it. And no way to get them.
Yeah.
Too young to work, right? You're just at the whims of an adult-run society.
Yeah, but Brian Bonsall gets lucky because his bike gets run over by a criminal who was trying to launder $1 million at the bank that he just came out of.
Miguel Ferrer.
Yep, Miguel Ferrer, cousin of George Clooney. I don't know if you knew that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I mostly know him from Twin Peaks and Blank Check.
R.I.P., man.
Yeah,
Miguel Ferrer, one of the greats.
Yep. So
you also know him from RoboCop.
I do know him from RoboCop too. Sorry. Thanks for calling me out on that. So
also Rick Ducommun, who's in that, who is sort of the kid's butler, is his driver or whatever.
Yeah. He's in Die Hard. He's the guy who comes up from the sewers and he's like, I can turn the power off, and the Fed's like, lose the power or you lose your job.
Yep. He's in Die Hard. He's also in Groundhog Day.
Yep.
He's one of the drunks at the bar at Groundhog Day who keeps popping up throughout the movie.
Yeah.
And he's, I know you're not a big fan of this one, but I love him in The Burbs.
Oh.
He is Tom Hanks' best friend.
Yep.
And he's absolutely paranoid. He is the one who sets everything on its course.
I do love the energy that guy gives off anytime he shows up in
He's
something.
really funny.
He's got a very distinct personality. It's great to see him in movies. I like him in Blank Check a lot too. He plays a good buddy for kind of seems like a jerk at the start. When Preston walks up, that's Brian Bonsall's character, Preston Waters, by the way.
That's right.
Yeah. Walks up and he's like, "Hey, I'm here to pick up my limo." And the guy's like, "Yeah, right." Because like, why would a kid be picking up a limo? This is like unheard of.
It's like, I'm Mr. McIntosh.
Yeah. So Blank Check is basically Preston Waters gets $1 million and he can do whatever he wants. He buys his own house. He lives his own life. He creates a water slide that leads from his bedroom down to the pool. Everything that you could want as a kid. I remember watching this as a kid and just thinking, man, I wish I had $1 million.
$1 million went a long way in 1993. I'll tell you what.
That house that he lives in is basically just a castle, an actual castle. He buys it for $300,000.
Yeah.
Today, I don't know. Way more than that. Yeah.
You're buying a double wide, kid.
And over the course of the film, it's him trying to use the money to buy the freedom that he always wanted when he didn't have money.
Right.
And he starts to realize, I kind of miss my family. I'm in over my head.
Yeah,
I've been playing this game too long. And
he shows that just money, when you're all alone, living a false identity, is hollow.
Yes. And the same thing happens to his parents too. They start to miss him as well. He pretends like he's working for this rich guy. He's got a job. He's too busy to spend time with his family. And his family's like, I'd really like to see him again. I miss having him around the house.
Maybe we shouldn't have taken him for granted.
Yeah. And you see the same thing happen in Home Alone. It's just a universal theme for most families to, kids in particular, to want that independence, to not understand why these rules are in place for you. They're there as bumpers because you're not ready to handle the real world.
Do you still like watching family films?
I was actually going to ask you the same question. I had it written down.
Really?
Yeah. I like watching family films that I enjoyed as a kid.
Yeah.
I have a hard time connecting with family films that I didn't see. Even if they came out when I was a kid, I often have trouble connecting with those there, particularly when it comes to animations. Like if I didn't grow up with the animation, I have a hard time connecting to
Getting
it for some reason. But yeah, I go to bed every night watching sort of like a movie that feels kind of nostalgic from my childhood. It kind of like settles my mind. And then also I suffer from roaring tinnitus, and just having like the TV going while I'm trying to go to sleep helps.
Yeah.
And so I'll watch family films.
Having been in the clink has really been problematic for you.
Yeah, I don't even have a fan.
You've been asking me to recite family films while you go to sleep.
Yeah, it hasn't been working out. Your delivery's pretty lame on it, but I guess that's not really your fault.
Well, I tried my best.
Yeah. Do you still watch family films?
Yeah, well, I think I'm probably in the same boat. I don't feel like I come around to family films I haven't seen very often. I'm trying to think of any new family films I've watched.
I get the sense that family films are kind of like often tied to the generation that they were released in. These are dealing with issues that both the kids and the parents can relate to at the time. And I think as time passes, maybe newer generations don't connect to that material as much. And for the same reason, we might not connect to family films today. Families are dealing with very different things today than they were back then. I mean, some of the things are still the same, but...
Well, are we able to broaden the definition of a family film to recognize that some films, maybe the primary audience, or let me say, maybe the themes aren't primarily about the nuclear family, but the film is just good enough that it appeals to folks of all ages? We were talking recently about Labyrinth.
Yeah.
And that is a family film in that our protagonist is trying to get back her baby brother. Yeah. Right? I mean, there is a tight family element there.
She also wished her brother away the same way that Kevin wishes his family away.
That's right. But I think there's a movie where kids and adults might both really appreciate that movie, and maybe in different ways.
I think a different kind of family film for me was sort of introduced in the 90s or the late 80s. It's the PG-13 film. Jurassic Park, not what you'd think of as your typical family film, but parents took their kids to see that movie. Parents took their kids to see Forrest Gump too.
Titanic.
And Titanic. So you have these PG-13 movies, and they often feel like a rite of passage. One of my favorites, actually, my parents showed this to me on just broadcast television, but one night Predator was on. And they showed that to me when I was 9 years old. And I tell you, that's one of the best movies I've ever watched with my family, because they knew they were showing me something. I'd graduated. I'd grown up in some way. And I got to see Predator. And they loved the experience because not only did they love the movie, and I loved it too, but we got to experience it together. And they got to see me sort of grow up a lot in just one 2-hour session.
That's really funny, because my experience like that was with Alien.
Alien versus Predator.
No.
Which you saw with your family.
Well, that was later.
Dear Santa Claus, I got a little sister last year. This year, I'd rather have some clay dough.
I didn't mean it. If you come back, I'll never be a pain in the butt again. I promise. Good night.
One scene that I don't think we've ever really talked about too much. Well, maybe we did once, but there's this scene where Kevin is just lying in bed one night. I think this is either his second or third night home alone, and he's watching Johnny Carson. And Johnny Carson reads a letter from a kid. It's a Dear Santa Claus letter, and it says, "Dear Santa Claus, last year I got a sister. This year I'd like clay dough."
I'd like clay dough.
Yeah. And as the joke plays, the audience in the show is laughing. The movie cuts to Kevin, and he's just sitting there looking guilty, looking really sad. Like, oh, I was telling those kind of jokes 2 days ago, and now I don't really feel that way. It kind of just hits me in a different way now.
Yeah.
And then he pulls the family photo from under the pillow, and then
which is like a Sears family photo.
He pulls the photo from the thing and says, "I didn't mean it. I promise. If you come back, I'll never be a pain in the butt again." good night.
And then he looks both directions to make sure no one sees, and then he kisses the picture.
To make sure nobody's looking in the bedroom. Oh,
Yeah.
I don't want anyone to see this.
That would be embarrassing.
Yeah. Well, there were the couple times that he broke the fourth wall, so he knows somebody's watching.
He knows someone's watching. That's true.
So I don't blame him for that.
That's true.
Yeah. This gets us, that's the sort of the first point in the movie, though, where I think Kevin wants his family back for a different reason that he did before. Before, it was about his basic needs, safety and food. This is, I think, the first time he's come a long ways in these couple of days, and he can kind of rely on himself to an extent, but it's no longer about that. It's about him, like, missing his family and actually wanting a family back in this house.
Yeah. Rather having his family, who's a pain in the butt, than being alone.
Yeah, exactly.
Recognizing the value of family.
Yeah. And so I think this is December 23rd when that happens. And the next day is when he sets all the traps, Christmas Eve.
Right.
And so we have a few scenes that are related to Kevin reflecting on his family. We have the Santa Claus scene where he goes to Santa Claus and says, I want to forego all of my presents. I just want my family back. And even Uncle Frank, he even wants Uncle Frank back.
If Santa has time.
If he has time.
Yeah.
Yes.
He doesn't want to ask too much of the guy. It's sort of the reverse Johnny Carson letter, right? He's like, I get it.
Yeah.
I don't want to belabor it, but I just wanted, that's always bugged me. It's always felt a little gross to me, even as a kid, where this kid is writing into Johnny Carson, and the ramifications here are weird to me. It means that the previous year, his parents told him that his little brother was a Christmas present.
That's a pretty common thing, I think. Like
it is?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I thought maybe with pets, like, oh, you got a dog for Christmas, but a sibling?
I think they try to trick kids into thinking this is going to be good for you. You're going to love having a little brother, and maybe someday, or a little sister, maybe someday you'll appreciate it.
Oh, it's one of those slow burn gifts.
This actually goes back to one of my very first memories. I remember the day that my brother was born. I was a toddler.
Yeah.
I was brought up to my mom, who had just given birth to my brother, and I remember them like being so excited to show my brother to me, and I remember thinking they want me to be excited about this and just like putting on a bright face and being like, wow, that's so cool. And then apparently like I didn't,
now can I go play with my toys?
Yeah, like I had no idea this kid was going to come home with us. I just thought they were showing me like something they picked up at the hospital. And then my mom says I kind of like lost interest in it a couple days after, when they were spending all of their time taking care of this newborn baby, which I think is also like a common thing for toddlers, to feel kind of left out when their parents are just dealing with managing a newborn.
Was your little brother presented to you as a gift?
No, I think I went up to the bed that my mom was laying in the hospital, and she was holding him, and she basically like, this is your little brother or something like that. And I was like, okay, cool.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I don't have that stuff.
Yeah. I got used to him after a while. He was all right. One time I made him disappear, and I asked Santa to bring him back.
And Santa brought him back?
And it worked out, yeah.
That's the miracle of Christmas.
Yeah, that's why people believe in it. The season of perpetual hope.
Yeah, and I think it's always good to live in a season of perpetual hope, because I mean, I have wishes and dreams to make too. They're moonshots, But I got hope in my heart.
Yeah, well,
for us.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, I'm trying to stay hopeful as well.
So the other big thing is that Kevin goes to the church, right? And that is obviously a really formative moment in the film. It's an arc. It's when Kevin and Old Man Marley get to know each other.
Yeah, Kevin realizes Old Man Marley isn't probably a murderer in hiding. And if he is, he's a lot nicer than he used to be.
Yeah, he's not going to murder me.
Yeah,
if he murders other people, it doesn't really seem to be my business.
I just mind my own business.
Yeah.
And then he has a good conversation with Old Man Marley about his family.
Yeah.
Old man Marley says, "You've been a good boy this year. Would you swear to it?" No, not really.
Yeah.
And old man actually, I do love this. Is like, after he says, "Oh no, not really," old man Marley's like, "Yeah, I had a feeling."
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, I was there when you stole that toothbrush, by the way.
Yeah, right. I've seen you do some untoward things, kid.
I wonder if he had a conversation with the pharmacy clerk. Like, do you know that kid? Like, yeah, he lives
Old man
across
Marley
the street
just
from me.
shook his head solemnly. Some kids are hopeless.
It's like the one time old man Marley can look down on somebody else in the community for once.
Yeah.
Man, kids aren't the same these days.
He walked out of that drugstore with a pep in his step. He's like, that's the first time that lady at the drugstore has ever even talked to me. So this is deep enough in Kevin's journey where he has acknowledged that he misses his family. He really wants his family back. He's made the wish, right? And now he has the wisdom to impart on an adult about the value of family.
Yes.
And he sees something in someone else, in this neighbor of his, who also has a strained relationship, who is not seeing his family for different reasons.
Yeah.
And he gives him a pep talk.
Yeah.
This is a great character journey for Kevin. I think this really drives home. We already know it, but this is a really crucial moment in the story where we see Kevin has really gone full circle here.
Yeah. He misses his family enough that he's gone to church and he's kind of, you assume anyway, praying that Jesus or God will give...
Repenting.
Repenting, trying to get his family, doing whatever he can to get his family back. And I also like the idea that this conversation isn't one way. Old man Marley imparts some wisdom onto him. I love what he says about families are a complicated thing. You can hurt them and they can hurt you, but you're still family at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And you'll always love them even if you don't remember it. I love that line too. You'll always love them even if you don't remember it. That it's something that you can forget over time and you need to be reminded sometimes. And then, Kevin's already at the end of the journey and then imparting sort of wisdom onto old man Marley. I've gotten over my fears over the last few days and I found that it's been great. Not being scared of everything is great. You should just not be scared of reaching out to your son. Try to get that back because family is important.
Yeah, Kevin goes through dual journeys because he is also getting over his fear. And so when he's wishing for his family back, he is simultaneously deriving value and life experience from not having his family there.
Yes.
So as he is wanting his family back, he is also sort of becoming more brave, becoming more independent, so that when he finally does get his family back, he is a more evolved kid.
He's not going to be the kid that his family left. He comes back and everyone's going to be impressed with him. He went shopping the other day. He bought some milk, eggs, and fabric. He can't even tie his own shoes.
He's going shopping?
Yeah.
Fabric softener, by the way? Come on. He bought fabric softener.
He actually did not buy fabric softener. He bought laundry detergent.
And he just doesn't know the difference.
Yeah. I don't know what was going on there. Who was in charge? Why didn't somebody put fabric softener in his hands? Why did they put Era? Is that what it's called?
I think he didn't know the difference.
Era?
I think he didn't know the difference.
Is that a laundry detergent?
Era. Folks, denizens of the airwaves, fans of the show, fellow freedom fighters, I have some grave news. We've just heard from our
attorney.
Lawyers, our legal team.
Yeah.
They've appealed to the state Supreme Court, and our appeal has been denied. We've been sentenced to death.
Yeah. Those old Wisconsinian bylaws. What are you going to do?
The Green Mile.
Yeah. That's where we're at. We're on the Green Mile.
It's been a long road. It's been a long road home.
Definitely didn't think it was going to end here.
Alone.
Well, and together.
Together.
Yeah. Plus, Mr. Producer's here too. He's dying as well.
Yeah,
in case
Mr.
anyone was
Producer
wondering.
is also on death row with us.
Yeah.
And also, we were told, I haven't seen him yet. It's been sort of a tizzy, but I heard that Scantron has also been sentenced to death.
Oh, geez.
For helping us.
Yeah, for association with radio pirates.
So I'm sorry, Scantron, for bringing you into this too.
Yeah.
My head is spinning.
Yeah.
This doesn't seem real yet. We don't know when our execution is. I don't think there are any stays in this execution. I'm starting to wonder why they nicknamed me Joey Chairs.
Because you're going to get the electric chair.
Well, I don't know.
They called me Jimmy Prison because I'm going to die in prison, I guess. Well, this is a dark day for the long road home alone. I don't even know how many more broadcasts we have. We know at least one more for sure, but after that, I don't know where we're at. We're heading into the Thanksgiving season now, and hey, if you want to send some prayers our way, what could it hurt?
Those moonshots we were talking about, right? Those dreams, those wishes.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to take the opportunity to say that my life has not lasted as long as I had hoped, but I have spent the last few years doing the most important possible work that I think anyone could ever do. And I've been doing it with you, my compatriots.
Yes.
So if this is the last time, Jimmy, it's been a long road, but it's been a good one.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We'll see you here next month. One more episode. Stay tuned.
Broadcast live from our studio in
Sheboygan County Correctional Institution.
The Long Road Home Alone is hosted by Jimmy Dantes and Joey Z and produced by Pat Muldoon. Be sure to tune in next time. Don't forget your reading glasses and keep the change, you filthy animals.